Welcome back. My name is Rashad Johnson. This is my testimony series, episode 14. Brief recap on episode 13. I ended up moving from Ukaipa to Fontana, which I didn't know at the time when I moved, um, that I was around the corner from my ex-wife's house. And Um, I was renting out a room again, but this room was a little bit more bigger. And at the time, my son was living with me, which, and the story that I was telling was how God was to, he was starting to build my faith up. And how did he build my faith up? Give me 1 second. He started to build my faith up by me just listening to him and him working miracles, like in the story, my son wanted to be a doctor, so I needed a stethoscope and I didn't have no money. So in my old way, before I became a new person, in my old ways, I will just go steal it. Um, and I was about to go to a Walmart and steal this stethoscope, and God told me, he stopped me and told me I don't need to do that. And then I was going to change the price on it and lie, and God said, you don't need to do that. I will supply you everything that you need. So I didn't steal the stethoscope, but a day later, I was able to buy one for $5, a real one, across the street from my job. And that's how my faith was starting to build. So we're in November now, and me and my ex-wife, we're talking, but we're not talking. We're talking on her terms, when she wants to talk or when she wants to see me. And I still, at that time, I still had hope. I still had hope that we could reconcile our marriage, but I wasn't where God wanted me to be at yet. I'm still listening to the word. I'm still listening to my gospel. He's still molding me to the man that he wants me to be. I'm still learning things. I'm challenging myself. Asking God to test me in certain areas that I done read on how to love and how to forgive and um, how to be obedient. And when I failed, I had to do it all over again. But I still had some some of my flesh was still driving me, you know. Um, and the Bible tells us you can only serve two masters. So are you going to serve your flesh or are you going to serve the Holy Spirit? You can't be lukewarm. You can't fulfill your flesh, things that you want to do, and then on Tuesday you're going to fulfill what the Holy Spirit wants you to do. You can't serve two masters. Either you got to serve God or you got to serve the enemy. Um, so, we would talk, and it was times where she would want to meet up somewhere, and we'll meet up at a park, on her lunch break, and we'll talk and maybe kissed or whatever. And, at that time, I felt like things was moving in the right direction. But she still didn't want me to come back home, which I didn't understand because I'm like, everything's good. So why don't you want me to come back home? We're married. See, but the enemy, he's real good at dividing. You know, he wanted to keep us, the more he kept us divided, the more he was able to work on her mind and put whatever thoughts that he wanted to put in her mind when it came to us and me. You see what I'm saying? And I'm learning that being divided ain't gonna help our situation, because he knows if I was able to move back in that house, that I will be able to love her, and love conquers all. You know, love is the great is greater than the hope and the faith. Love conquers all. That's what the word tells us in Corinthians. And that was that's what we was doing. Then I remember the whole month of November, you know, I'm asking if I could see her and come over, and some days I couldn't, and some days um I was able to. And then by the time December came, no, she had invited me over for Thanksgiving, and I think I was able to stay the night Thanksgiving, and you know, we had a nice little time. I think, you know, we would sit in the living room and be around the children, and everything was good. And like I said, the enemy didn't want us. Like, right when I got real close to her, then the enemy will use something to push her away. You know, something, some type of argument will come up, and you know, then it's back to square one again. And then I gotta inch my way back to her, because it's one thing, you know, God tells us about a person that's double minded. They're you know, all their decisions is when a person is double minded, they don't make the right decisions. So part of her loves me. The other part can't stand me. But she don't have no reasoning to not want to be with me. You know, the enemy's using all types of stuff that I was feeding it, like, oh, he's gonna be with his ex-girlfriend. But I'm not at my ex-girlfriend's house. I'm not seeing her. I'm not talking to her. Um, but she kept thinking that we was gonna be back together, me and my ex, and that was what he was feeding her. Then on top of that, she was talking to so many different people. They was feeding her people that wasn't godly, people that did not have the Holy Spirit living with them, people that was not married. She they was feeding her all type of negativity also. So it was trying to persuade her mind to not be with me. And at that time, I'm hurt. I'm hurting. I'm hurting. I'm still confused. I don't understand, you know, why am I going through what I'm going through. And, you know, it'll be times where we didn't talk for about 3 days, and then she wants to see me. And so I made myself available for her to see me. Um, I remember, you know, going, you know, now we're in December, and I remember spending Christmas at the house. I bought her some lugs, some Uggs, some Ugg boots, and she was supposed to buy me uh, some Air Jordan 3s, True Blues that I wanted. She got her gift. Matter of fact, she got like two. I bought her like 2 pairs of Uggs. Bought the kids something, but I didn't get nothing in return, and I never got that gift that she bought the gift. I remember she bought it because it was supposed to be getting delivered, and by that time after Christmas, going into New Year's, that was the last time that we spent any type of time with each other. Next thing you know, I would just pop up at her house and, I'll be yelled at and why am I popping up? And, I still got stuff there. And, I had mail still going there because it still took time for that mail to transfer over. And, a couple days later, I remember just getting served. I got served with um, divorce papers. And when I got served, I went back over there crying and wondering, like, why do you want to get this divorce? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, tell me what I'm doing to you. Tell me what I done did. Like, why we ain't trying to fix this? I went to counseling. You wanted me to go to counseling. I went to counseling. You wanted me to do marriage counseling with your friends. I did that with your friends. Like, I'm doing everything that I thought that I was supposed to be doing as a man. And, you know, she played the victim. She played the victim like I was abusive or I messed up her credit and her finances. And even though I was the only one working, during the summertime, she accused me of cheating on her, which I was never cheated. Um, the enemy was using any type of avenue that he can. Um, it made me upset. It hurt me. I cursed out my ex-girlfriend, asked her, like, why did she get involved? Why did she get involved? And I was defeated. I was hurt. So, you know, I remember in January her daughter worked at the local theater. And, part part of me just taking my mind off things, I would go to the theater. Now, this particular day, the people at the theater knew who I was, but I didn't see her daughter at the time. And I bought my movie ticket, and if she was up there, I was not gonna say nothing to her because that was part of it was a restraining order that I couldn't come to her job, couldn't come to the house, I couldn't talk to the children. But I went to the movie theater, I didn't see the girl. Next thing you know, I'm watching the movie, and I'm like the only one in the movie theater. I forgot what movie I was watching. And next thing you know, she comes into the movie theater. My ex-wife comes into the theater while the movie's playing and got to yelling at me, telling me to get out, screaming at the top of her lungs. Like, it was so demonic. Like, here I am minding my own business, not bothering her, not talking to her daughter. Didn't even know her daughter even came to work. And I'm being yelled at like I'm in there harassing her daughter or trying to communicate with her. And she pretty much forced me out of the movie theater. Like, I just left. I didn't get no refund or anything. I just left. And I just knew that we had a court date. I want to say that February. So the whole month of January, we done put money, like, we had money put down for this big old party that I never got back, like $1,000 that she used for a party for herself. Here I am struggling, and she didn't even have the audacity to give me the money back. Took, the shoes that I bought, never gave me a gift. Like, I was just taking losses. And I remember that day, I'm having faith and hope all the way. Like, I didn't call her, I didn't text her. She didn't text me, she didn't call me. And I'm just praying. I'm praying for her every day. And I just remember having hope that she would change her mind when we went to court to see the judge. And I remember begging her in the courtroom. She had like two of her friends there, and I was begging her in the courtroom because the judge asked, like, if you got anything else to say it now. And I pleaded for her not to divorce me, and that it's spiritual. That's when I started knowing, like, a lot of this was spiritual, and the enemy was using her, you know. And I pleaded and I cried, man. I cried in front of complete strangers, and she still, with everything that I said, she told the judge she wanted to continue. And when I walked out of court, that's the last time. Matter of fact, let me backtrack before I said what I said. In the month of January, I remember her calling me and telling me to come get my stuff. And I had to call my best friend and have him help me move my stuff into a storage. She literally, she just didn't have me get my stuff. Like, she was throwing my stuff. My stuff was in the garage, and she was throwing it out on the yard. She didn't need to do all that. But that was the enemy. Because it's not like I wasn't coming to get my stuff. And she was yelling and saying, "You need to get your," cursing at me. "You need to get your stuff up out of here." And I'm asking her, like, what I do? Like, what I do with my stuff? I'm waiting for my friend to come. He's gonna come. I got I had the U-Haul truck because I had a couple beds, some couches, you know. Um, I believe I had a refrigerator. Um, yeah, I had a refrigerator. I had my bedroom set, some couches, my entertainment set. All this was in her garage. But like the smaller stuff, she was throwing it out on the yard and in the driveway of her house. And I'm like, just leave it alone. My friend coming, we're gonna get our stuff out. And The way she was just talking to me, disrespecting me, cursing at me, yelling at me, screaming at me, I knew something wasn't right. I just knew. So fast forward back to the court. When she told the judge that she wanted to continue with the divorce, I didn't say anything else. And the judge hit the gavel. I just remember walking out the court, teary eyed. And that was the last time I spoke to her and the last time I seen her. We haven't spoken. She haven't called me, texted me, emailed me. And you would think that we was never married. You would think that, you know, all this was rushed. Because that's how the enemy works. He'll rush you to do what he wants you to do. There was no communication. There was nobody telling her, you know, divorce was not an option. She was hearing it from her so-called pastors and friends and, you know, leave him, leave him, leave him. There was no proof that I cheated on her. I never put my hand to her. I took more verbal abuse and physical abuse that I could even imagine. And if I was abusing her, trust and believe, I made videos telling that I got into it with my baby mamas when I was younger. And I turned myself in. Like, I, to this day, man, it's 2023. The way she just dropped me like I didn't even matter. Like I wasn't, like she dropped me like we was just dating. I haven't seen her kids. The way she just left my boys, like like they didn't matter. That hurt me. That hurt because the enemy don't care. The enemy don't care. You know, most people, yeah, they might get a divorce, but they still have some type of relationship with the stepchildren. And that was traumatic towards my children, my boys, because they did look at her as a mother and they accepted her because I told them to accept her. And they looked at those girls as their sisters. And then to one minute you know them, next minute you don't even have a relationship with them. And we don't care. You don't care. His whole goal is to hurt people, to hurt the chosen ones. It was hard making this video. That's why I ain't been consistent since the last one. Because it's starting to get, it's going to start getting, I got maybe one more video and then it gets to my current situation with my wife, who who I love. And then y'all will see what spiritual warfare looks like. And you will see how God is using me to share these videos with y'all and why. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. And probably make the last testimony video 15. This is video 14. And I'll share it with you. Until then, I love y'all. I'm out.